If your entire strategy is focused around posting on LinkedIn to start generating you more leads and more revenue for your business, there's a much better way to actually go and do this without having to essentially wait for people to come to you. And unless you've got a massive following on the platform with relevant people who are actually in the market to go and buy your product or service, 99% of the time, your efforts are best placed on doing outreach rather than posting regularly on a daily basis, which takes up a lot of your time. In fact, my client over the past 2 weeks has never posted on LinkedIn, and he generated 8 meetings, and he's got another 7 potential meetings in his pipeline, and he didn't do a single post, and he doesn't plan to do any more posts in the future. He actually rang me this week and said, hey, is this actually normal? I'm getting so many leads and they're all qualified. The show up rate was 100% and I'm going to get inundated with leads. Now, this sometimes isn't normal when you're doing outreach to people, but I'm going to explain to you the 3-step process, what we did with my clients, and in particular the client that I was just speaking about, which I do for all of my clients. Now, part 1 is literally making sure that you've got a good offer. So without having a good offer, you're just going to attract the wrong type of people. It's not going to be desirable and no one's going to actually resonate with what you've got to say. So all you need to do is make it absolutely crystal clear for who it's for and what they're going to get. So if you're running a service-based business, you need to explain who it's for and what are they going to get from working with you. It needs to be explained within 1 sentence and a 12-year-old could actually understand it. And if you can't actually explain that, it's going to be incredibly tough for you to actually go and do a lead generation campaign. So a really good example for me that I could use would be how business owners can book 10 sales calls without spending money on ads in the next 30 days. You see how specific that is when you actually draw out the key audience in terms of who this offer is for, and then it explains their pain point and the outcome that they want to achieve in a time frame. Now that's pretty specific. You may want to dial it back and not go as specific as that, but it gives you a good framework in terms of when you say it out loud, does it resonate with your target audience or not? Part 2 is actually creating your lead list. Now, because we're talking about LinkedIn, all we need to do now is figure out who on the platform is your ideal customer profile. And if you've not used it before, you can use tools like LinkedIn Sales Navigator. You can get it for free, or you can get a 2-month free trial if someone refers you, but you can still just do it in the search bar in the platform. And all we need to do now is actually figure out from your ideal customer profile, who do you need to tell that offer to? So for me, it would be small to medium sized business owners. Company headcount would be 1 to 10. They've got to have at least 2 years of experience in their role in their company, and they're based in Australia. Now, this list does not have to be massive. It doesn't have to be thousands of people. You can make a lot of money and you can generate a lot of clients by just having a really small list. I always suggest for people to have a list between 100 and 300 people to start with, and then that will give you a good starting point in terms of when you're going to go and do outreach to those people. So part 3 is actually the most important part, right? So it's your sales mechanism, and essentially keeping this extremely simple, all you're going to be doing is DMing people, basically messaging people on LinkedIn. And most people go in for the kill here and they go in for the pitch, and it's just really not the right way to go and do it. You're going to be seen as a salesperson. If you send them a big paragraph or you send them that offer that we just created within the first message, they're just going to delete your message, or they're just going to say no thank you. Even if it was the best offer in the world, that's just not how humans work. So what we want to do now is literally just have a human conversation with them to get the ball rolling, and then we're going to go into explaining and understanding what their pain points are. Because without understanding what their pain points are, you don't know if your offer is going to be suitable for them, right? So essentially, how I usually do it, and for all of our clients, what we get them to do is we actually just get them to say, good to connect, just to get that conversation going. And then we'll ask them a pretty direct question. And the question has to be something that's actually related to your service. So we're not asking them what the weather's like in Melbourne at the moment. We're asking them something along the lines of, for me, it would be, how are you generating your leads at the moment? It looks like you're crushing it. I can see that you're posting pretty regularly. So it'd be something like that. And then they might say, okay, John might say something like, I'm generating some leads, but I'm spending way too much time posting at the moment. And when I do generate leads, the quality is pretty low. So at that point, I would say, okay, well, what other methods have you tried using? And then if that's when we're going to understand if that person's actually struggling with this, or they have no idea what they're doing with lead generation, that is when you can go and do your pitch. So we've understood simply, has he got the pain? Has he got the pain in terms of what you have to offer? And then that's when we can actually understand, okay, here's the pitch, and then you can ask them to book a call. if you're actually going to go and book a call as your sales mechanism. So at that point, all you want to do is suggest a couple of times. People hate it when you send them a Calendly link or some online meeting link where they've got to go through and it just gets lost in the inbox and it takes them too much time. So if they agree to have a call, all you need to say is, okay, are you available on Tuesday at 2 p.m. or Thursday at 1 p.m.? Just give them two options. It doesn't matter if you think that that's not going to work for them. They'll most likely come back to you with a suitable time that will suit them. And that 3-step process is extremely simple, but that's how we're generating leads on a regular basis for all of our clients. So just wrapping that up, all you've got is your offer. So you need to create a good offer and understand who you need to target. And then we've got the target list. So in this case, we're using LinkedIn Sales Navigator to go and create that list. And then the third step is actually your conversion mechanism, which is literally just going to be a message. Just as if you were messaging someone on Facebook, we're doing the exact same thing on LinkedIn. And we're making sure that we understand their pain point before we book them in for a call. And then that's when we're going to go and have a call with them. So yeah, if you're struggling with lead generation and you think your clients are on LinkedIn, then all you need to do is keep it super simple and have human conversations with people and book them in. See you in the next one.